Okay, I think we're live.
Right. Just give it a few more seconds, I think. And you are live. Good to go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to the October 18th meeting of the Northborough Historic District Commission. My name is Bob Light, Chair. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of Acts of 2023, an act relative to the extending certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting will be conducted via remote participation. No person in attendance by members of the public will be permitted. The order allows the Historic District Commission to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberation of the meeting. All members of the Historic Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to the Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. This meeting will not feature public comment. Each vote taken this evening will be conducted by a roll call vote. So members of the commission, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Brian Smith.
Aye.
Leslie Harrison.
Aye.
Brian Swanson.
Here.
Tom Reardon.
Here.
Millie Milton.
Here.
And I think we have one more person coming. And I'm here, Bob Light. Yes, and Amanda. Hi. Okay, Amanda, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, great. So. Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen for a second. I just want to put up the agenda. So we had a lot of new business issues that came up since the last meeting. So I moved the continuation of our Chapter 7 review of tasks to the very end. If we have time, we'll continue covering that. But that's going to be an ongoing subject of the session. So I just want to point that out. And oh boy. Okay, let me try to find my way back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, first item on the agenda is the prior meeting minutes. Everyone has a copy of that, I assume?
Yeah.
And I've already reviewed them. Are there any other changes?
No.
I did not have anything particular.
Okay. All right, can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes. What was the date on that?
September 20th.
September 20th.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Second. Okay. Brian Smith,
Aye.
Leslie,
Aye.
Millie,
Aye.
Tom Reardon,
Aye.
Brian Swanson,
Aye.
and Amanda.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, so the minutes are accepted. Next, for old business, there's a few items that really I don't think need too much updating. The Brigham Street Burial Ground, most of you have seen some pictures of that. It looks like it's coming along very nicely.
Yeah.
The seed is down. The fence is up. The chains on the fence are up.
Yeah, it looks good.
Mm.
Looks amazing. Yeah, well, it looks fantastic.
Okay. All right. The library sign, the Gale Library. I have no update on that. I haven't seen the latest mock-up. I think it's the mock-up that we accepted. I probably should follow up on that to find out what the status is, but at this time I have nothing new to report. And same with the Howard Street National Register. I had contacted a person in the state, and it's in the works, and they'll keep me posted, but there's nothing new to report. And as far as the Westboro State Hospital, the Chauncey Historic markers that were going up, at the last meeting, we discussed that they were balking about the possibility of putting up a small marker to identify the markers down the side road. I haven't heard anything new on that, and again, I haven't had an update, so I need to follow up on that as well. It's pretty much out of our hands.
Yeah.
We'll just see how it's going. So, but it's still an old business item. Anything else? Small projects? Anything else to report? Old business. Northborough, UK. I think we had discussed in the past.
So I have been going to the Springfield Museum with Norm, and we've been going through the papers of D.B. Wesson of White Cliffs fame. So they
Oh.
recently completed the cataloging of all his papers from the early 1870s up through his death in 1906. And what we've been looking for is to track down who the builders, designers, cabinet makers, and so forth that were employed by D.B. Wesson. And what we've found is in the late 1870s, Wesson using manufacturers and craftsmen from New York City. And two in particular have come up as Pymus and Moliere and the Herder brothers. So he had a relationship with these manufacturers of furniture and household goods back into the mid 1870s. We also discovered some contact with Levi Moody, who was the contractor of White Cliffs, and he had done work for the Wesson family on the Calvert Vaux house in Worcester, the Dr. Stephen Ball house.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a pattern of connections that's emerging as we go through these boxes. We've gone from about 1876 to about 1880, and we need to go back a couple more times to go through 1880 up through, say, 1886, 1888, which was the 82 to 86 is when White Cliffs was being designed and constructed. So we hope to uncover a little bit more, maybe about the stained glass, the wallpaper. We know Herder Brothers has worked on White Cliffs. So we're starting to try to fill in the gaps by going to the Springfield Museum.
Nice.
Interesting.
And so they're allowing you to get access to these documents?
Yes, they have Well, he was a pack rat. He saved everything. His train tickets, the time he had to board his horses when he was traveling. I mean, he saved everything, but
Wow.
it's only one-sided. It's material that's was written to him.
Okay,
We don't have the other side of the
outgoing.
but it's pretty interesting stuff, and it's kind of time consuming, but I
Yeah.
have good company with Norm. So that's what we've been working on.
That's fascinating. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kudos. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to go out and look through his papers, just call Maggie Haberman there at the museum, and she would be happy to pull out the boxes. But since they completed the cataloging, it makes it a lot easier because they're by
Yeah.
date and alphabetical, and it makes it a lot easier.
What was the
Interesting.
museum, Tom?
It's a Springfield Museum. There's a collection of museums. They're all clustered together there on Dwight Street. And they give us a table and bring out the boxes and we go at it.
Wow.
Do they separate I would say his business dealings between that and his personal?
No, it's all intermingled.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's interesting letters. They let us copy the documents. We can photograph the documents.
Wow.
There's some letters from Calvert Vaux's office because he wanted to borrow a rendering that he had done a ball house or bull mansion to exhibit in a architectural rendering show in New York City. There's letters from architects asking if he needs their services. I thought that was pretty nice. It's not something we do anymore, but he certainly received a lot of letters when people, if they heard that he was interested in building something, he started getting letters from architects from New York and Boston and so forth and saying, we're available.
Wow. That's wild. That's incredible. How did you know to go there? Think of it.
We had contacted the museum when the papers were donated to them by Smith & Wesson. And then last year they hired an intern to catalog it, and we went out and started our review. And so we've now waited till the cataloging was complete. It makes it much easier for us. So that's what we've been working on, is a small project.
Are you finding that some of the architects or some of the names are familiar to other significant structures in the New England area?
Well,
Crossover?
Calvert Vaux, the junior architects that oversaw the construction of the Bull Mansion in Worcester went out on their own and formed a firm in New York City, and they're pretty well known for some of their commercial work. And they were notifying D.B. Wesson that they were now in business, and if he needed their help, they were available because he knew them personally. But well, we hope the next visit will get in more of the actual contractors and builders for White Cliffs. But at least we have established a pattern of who he's been using from New York City, and they're all clustered along Broadway in the 1875 to 1890. So he bought a lot of furniture.
Oh, yeah.
He bought a lot of furniture.
When was White Cliffs built? I don't recall the date.
1882 to 1886.
Okay.
Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah. You have plans to go back there?
Yeah, we're not quite done yet. So hopefully in November, we'll go back out and having 5 or 6 hours of going through these
Yeah.
papers it's kind of grueling, but we want to get through all of his papers this year.
Wow.
Okay, very good. Okay, next agenda item is the committee representatives updates. So we'll start with CPC. Leslie?
I'm sorry. CPC, I'm sorry.
Yeah, representative
Yeah,
updates.
Yes, I'm sorry. So yeah, applications are due November 1st. We'll be meeting first Thursday of November to start reviewing them. It's rolling applications, so they're accepted up until November 1st. They're also honestly accepted a little past, but that's the official drop dead date is November 1st.
Okay. We're going to cover this later, but I was thinking, discussing the replacement of the aqueduct sign as possible CPC funded. I talked to Lori about that. So I think we'll have to formally approve that, but we'll get to it when we get to in the agenda.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I would assume replacing an existing one would still qualify. I can't imagine why that wouldn't.
Yeah, I would think so, because it was funded originally by CPC.
Right. So I would think it would still be covered.
Okay. And that's they're due November 1st.
Right. Again, not a hard and fast date, but that's the official drop dead date, but that's not to say that we wouldn't accept late applications, but ideally by November 1st. Like I said, our first meeting to review, we met last month or at the beginning of this month, but November 2nd will be our first meeting to start reviewing applications. That'll be the first path.
Okay. Anything else on that, CPC?
No, what's it?
Okay. The downtown revitalization, Millie, anything?
Yeah, we actually are having our next meeting tomorrow, so there hasn't been any updates for well over 2 months. They had a lot of work to do based on some of the feedback and the comments from, I believe, end of August. So hopefully they'll have something to show us tomorrow.
Okay. I did notice that at the last meeting, I think we discussed that there was the facade support. I think that was ARPA funds, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The select board this week rescinded that vote. So they have to go back to the drawing board if they want that done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else on committee representation? Okay, so new business. I had a demolition request for 15 Prospect Street and looked up the property. It was built in roughly 1952, 53. Wasn't any of historic significance. I actually reviewed this also with Norm, and according to the bylaws for demolition delay, we would have it's not historical property. Doesn't meet the definition. So normally we would have voted on that, but there's no need. So what I did was I went back to the contractor and explained that we shouldn't have to sign off on this because it's not applicable according to whatever the chapter is in the bylaws. And so that's where we left it.
Not applicable because of the
The bylaws say that we do not have to approve a demolition unless it's historic. So it's a historically significant building. And one of the definitions of historically significant is 100 years old.
Mm.
And then it'll also have to be listed in something like MACRIS or whatever, or National Register. So it didn't meet any of those criteria. So rather than sign off on it, I told them that we should be stricken or, say not applicable according to chapter, I think it's 2-36, I believe, of the bylaws.
Okay.
When did you say that was built, Bob?
I think it was 1952.
Okay.
It was definitely in the 1950s. It's a small house. It's didn't look like
I'm trying to figure out exactly where that is, actually.
Prospect Street?
I
Yeah.
think it's off of Lincoln Street.
Pleasant.
Pleasant Street.
Okay. I see that, yeah. Huh.
Is there any issue? Did I do the right thing on that? Because it really didn't. It's not something that we want to be involved in if the bylaws say we don't have to be involved in.
Yeah,
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I sent around something about a Mass Cultural Council grant application. I believe the grants were only up to, I don't know, something of the on the order of $500. It calls for grants to fund programs and events that showcase arts, humanities, sciences benefiting our community. They were due yesterday. Amanda gave some suggestions. One of them was some of the historic house markers to help support that. And then the other one was the sign that's going on Lyman Street, which I think is premature for what we're doing. So I just didn't think there was time to get something in, get the necessary quotes for this particular event. So we didn't have a committee meeting until then. So anyway, no action was taken, but I did contact Terry Underwood, who's the chair of the Northborough Cultural Council. And she's the one who, would support that. And I discussed some of the ideas, and initially it didn't seem like it was appropriate. Then she said, well, maybe some of those signs would be appropriate for future reference. So what I did was I went to the Massachusetts Cultural Council, and I registered under the Northborough Historic District Commission. So now we have a registration with them, and it'll make it a little easier for us to submit a proposal for the next go round.
Awesome, thank you.
Good.
So we're all set for that. So then in talking with Terry Underwood of the Cultural Council, the next item is Revolution 250. Have you heard of that? It's a Massachusetts, well, actually the Massachusetts Secretary of State started planning for celebrating the 250th anniversary of the various Revolutionary War activities, like the Tea Party and Lexington Concord and Declaration of Independence, which is all taking place right now. So in 2075 would be the 250th anniversary of the Battle of Lexington and Concord, for example. So if you haven't had a chance, I would encourage you to go to revolution250.org. It's a nonprofit group that was set up. It's like a quasi-state organization, but it's not a state organization. Anyway, I thought that talking about some of the agenda items or the action items from the preservation plan is this would be something that would be appropriate for the historical commission to undertake. So I sent some emails to the Northborough Historical Society and Terry Underwood of the Cultural Council, and also the sorry, check my notes here. The Community Affairs, I think it's a committee. Turns out one of my neighbors is the chair of the Community Affairs. So they're all interested. And what I'd like to do is consider maybe forming an ad hoc committee with all these other groups to start thinking about this. Now, it might be a ways off, but there might be activities that took place in 1775, 1774, or 1774 would be next year. 1775, an example might be a commemoration of Captain Woods and the Northborough Minutemen. That would be the 25th anniversary. And of course, in the Declaration of Independence too. And in 1776, you'd have what was it, the cannons going through Northborough. So if you go to that site on Revolution 250, it shows the Northborough, if it shows all the towns that had some revolutionary activity in their town. And what was listed was Colonel Knox and the cannon coming through in 1776. So those are two events. I still need to follow up with the historical society. I haven't heard back from them yet, but the other two commissions are interested, the Cultural Council and the Community Affairs, and maybe there might be others, DEI or Trails Committee or something like that. So, we're in the very early planning stages. I'd be any of you that might be interested in being on the ad hoc committee if we form one. We can discuss that,
Yeah.
but I'll do some follow-ups.
Include me. Include me. Yeah.
I will, okay? And maybe we could form that as a committee representation. I'm not sure who would take the lead, but it is something that is in our bailiwick
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
as a historical commission. And I'm not even sure what that would entail, but we could do some sort of a reenactment or a parade or something. It might be more than this commission can handle, but with the cultural committee and the community affairs, we might be able to pull something off. And okay, so it's just in the early stages. I don't think we need any commission approval on this, do we? It's something we'll just look
Yeah.
into. I'll make
Yeah.
I'll continue with my contacts and report back next month.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is potential CPA projects. And Leslie, I think you suggested adding this agenda.
Yes.
Did you have anything do you want to discuss on that?
Well, I mean, we talked, so they've got the library sign, and there's another one that I was thinking of, and now I'm forgetting what I suggested. I suggested another one. Which one was it? It's escaping me. I'll try to think. But yeah, there was one other that I had in mind that I suggested.
I have one, and that would be the replacement of the aqueduct marker.
Yeah, that I would say that's a priority if that's not coming back.
Yeah, and so does everyone know? I have a picture of the marker if you want me to show it, but it's the one that's missing. The post is still up. I went to Crown Trophy, and fortunately they had the mock-up of what we had done back, I think it was in 2013. Now in 2013, it cost $4,000 for that marker plus the Asbit Hill marker. And I went to them, they found the mock-up. So I asked them for a quote. They got back to me with a quote of $4,298.70. Quite a bit of inflation from what we had before.
10 years ago.
So, and then I asked for a validity period. Normally a quote would have like a 1-year validity period. She said there's no validity period. They could raise their price anytime. And they expect to have a price increase in January. So what I would do is if we put in a CPA request, I would put in that amount plus 10% for contingency, which I think is normally
Yeah.
what's. I checked with Scott Charpentier, and they would do the installation. There's something called Loctite, I think, which is a more secure way to fasten a sign to a post. I mean, it's not foolproof, but it's better than what we had. And I checked with him and the installation will be covered by the DPW budget. So all we'd have to
Nice.
do is put in for the sign plus contingency. I looked at the form online that I saw, and it looks fairly straightforward. Plus, it's I don't think we have too much. I mean, it was already funded by CPA, so this is just a replacement.
You looked at the blank form or the last request?
I
for
looked
this?
at the blank form. I didn't see the other one.
Yeah, Norm must have all the soft copies of all the previous requests, so I would just ask him for the most recent sign request and use that.
Well, I can go through, I have his files. I mean, I have
Okay.
his hard drive files, but I'm not sure I could find them there. But I'm not sure it's needed because I have the picture of the sign. I have the quote. We have the record that it was funded already by CPC. So I guess I could go ahead and take a crack at doing the application. Maybe I could run it by you.
Yeah, I
before
would, like I said, if you have, I would just quickly look through, you don't want to look through Norm stuff? I
I
hate
will.
reinventing the wheel. I just
No,
like,
I'll look through it.
okay, that's where I would start. But yeah, I can take a look, but yeah, he's done so many of these that if you can find any sign requests, I mean, I might even be able to find, I wonder if I'll look in my files too and see if I have any of those. I probably don't, but let me see.
Okay.
I hate reinventing the wheel if I can avoid it. Let me take a look now. I don't want to hold up, so, but yeah.
All right. Yeah, if you find anything, just send it to me. The only issue is I'm going out of town next week on Thursday morning. So I have whatever I do, I have to finish by Wednesday. Of course, it's due probably at the end of the week anyway. So I can get, I'll look for that, but otherwise, it's a single item. We have a quote, so it shouldn't be too difficult. So I believe we should have a approval to do a proposal. So does anyone move that we submit a CPA request to replace the aqueduct sign?
I move. We should replace the aqueduct sign.
Second.
Okay. All right, so let's vote. Brian Smith,
Aye.
Brian Swanson,
Aye.
Leslie,
Aye.
Millie,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So I'll draft something, and Leslie, if I have any questions, you're closer to it than I am. I'll reach out to you, and then either you or I will submit it.
Yeah, I found a request 2013, 2014. I think that's the only one I have in here. What is it for? It's for it's for the cemetery. But yeah, I'll send you this. Just
Okay.
yeah, for
Okay,
the
great. Yeah.
burial ground. But yeah, it's for the two signs for.
Okay. Good. That was the large markers, not the street signs, right?
Yeah, the cemetery hanging
Okay.
placard things. Yeah.
Okay, good. That'll give me some idea of how much detail I need to put into it.
Yeah.
Can you can send that to me, right?
Yep.
Good. Okay, if there's no further discussion on that. Okay, just before we get on to the last task, I just want to cover some other things. I attended a seminar on the cemetery preservation by Preservation Massachusetts. It was interesting because it's appropriate to what we're doing. And also the Massachusetts Historical Commission had a seminar on Macris files. I also sent something around that there's a request for bids for facade improvements, but it seems only for nonprofit organizations, and that doesn't include churches or schools. So I'm not sure if that'll include anyone but the Historical Society that I'm aware of. And I sent that to them. Those grants are due, applications are due November 6th. But it is matching funds. And I just got a request today for from a realtor. 453 Main Street is being sold. That turns out that's the Sturbrook Farm Inn. Farmhouse Inn, yeah, the old one. And that was, I think, 1753.
Yeah.
So it's old. So the question was, is it significant building? And yes, it is. It's on Chris, and it's also obviously over 100 years old. So what I told the realtor was that there would obviously be a demolition delay approval that would be required by us. But in terms of the question specifically had to do with renovation. And help me if I'm wrong here, but outside renovation would not be something that would be under our purview because it's not in a historic district. So can anyone think of anything else that I would need to tell the realtor? I did advise the realtor they would have to get in touch with the building commission for any renovations as normal to get the right permitting and approvals. But it would not involve us. And I'm hoping that they're not planning to demolish the building, but if they want to renovate it, I think that would be fine. I don't think we would have any say in that.
Yeah.
Was this the realtor with a prospective buyer, or it's just going on the market?
I think it's just on the market.
Okay.
What was the address again?
453 Main Street.
Thanks.
I think it's 253.
453, right?
No, let me see.
Yeah. It's listed in Macris as NBO.57. So it is
Oh,
listed.
it is 453.
Isn't that next to the barn that was recently demolished by this town?
That must be it. It must be
Yeah.
the house to the left.
Bartlett Farm?
Yes.
Yes,
Sturbrook.
exactly, Bartlett.
It's almost to Marlboro on the left if you're coming from town.
So,
Pretty property.
okay. Just looking for guidance. I think that's the advice I gave is probably correct, that
Yeah, I think that sounds
be
accurate.
involved in demolition only and not renovation. I guess the question is, what's the definition of renovation? They wouldn't tear it down and call it renovation, I hope.
Probably wouldn't be the first time, but yeah.
No.
Right.
Looking at the picture, I found it on Zillow, so you can see all the pictures inside, and it's got like 40 pictures.
I'm sorry, what was that?
On Zillow, it has all the pictures, so it's got like 40 pictures on 39
Oh.
pictures.
Oh, good.
I can show this, if people are curious, I can show my screen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll make
That'd
back
be
up.
great.
Thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so share screen. Okay, so here it is. Bolton
Oh,
1700.
yeah.
And for photos, we can go on a walkthrough here, take a
Oh.
tour. Oops.
So they've already done some renovations.
Does look better than it did look
Yeah.
before.
A lot.
It looks like it's painted.
Yeah, you look on the inside. It's like it hasn't seen.
Well, they didn't do the inside.
No.
Holy 70s.
Yeah.
Nice.
At
Is it
least not holy
linoleum?
1700s.
Yeah.
Floors
Wow,
are-
look at
Those look
that.
beautiful. If I'm going too fast or too slow, let me know. I'm gonna blast through them.
Wow.
Upstairs we go.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
there we go.
Good size room.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
Oh
clawed
my,
tub.
look
Clawfoot
at that.
tub.
That's great. My gosh.
I saw no brochure of the inn and they were renting rooms for $1 a night. Back-
Oh, really?
Way back when.
Wow.
Oh, water. That's such it's pretty property. Let's get about the garage.
Yeah, from the outside, I mean, it looks amazing from the outside.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
No, anyway.
Great.
I stop share. There we go. Stop share. All right.
Thanks
Okay.
for the tour, Leslie.
Yeah, thank you.
Historic District Commission walkthrough. Pretty efficient.
Okay, we have a little bit of time left. Maybe we should go back to the tasks under Chapter 7 of the preservation plan, unless there's anything else. Let me get my screen up. Can you see my screen?
No,
Mm-mm.
No?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's not good.
Step away for a quick second. I'll be back.
So the last meeting, we finished NCH 2-2. Does anyone have any updates on that? Any action items that were done since the last meeting?
I apologize. I missed that question.
Oh,
Rob,
right.
I heard something about
Oh.
since the last
Yeah.
meeting.
I think we covered NCH 2-2.
Yep.
And there were a few ongoing, some action items. I didn't know if anyone had anything to report on that.
Lyman Street,
I think,
walking toward Main Street. Okay.
can everyone read that okay?
No.
I don't see it.
Yeah, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh. Sorry about that. Oh, boy. I'm lost here. Sorry.
the master plan that you're trying to get up, that section?
Yeah, but I can't, I can't get back to Zoom.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
I mean, does everybody have a copy that they can follow along with, or
No.
no? Okay.
No.
I saw you get it, Tom. I was impressed you
where it
knew
was.
exactly where it was. I'm like, oh my.
I'm sorry, everyone. I can't get back.
Was it minimized by any chance?
Yeah, I know, but let's try. Oh, there we are. Okay. Everyone can see me now, right?
I can see
Yep.
you, but not your screen.
Okay. Let me try one more time.
Can you send it to somebody and maybe they can put it on?
Can you see my screen now?
No.
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 It's apps, share screen. Whiteboard.
No, not yet.
No.
Okay, it says share screen. It says basic. It says desktop.
Okay.
Click on desktop,
I did.
and does your document show up?
No.
Is it in files? Do you have it in Google Drive or any of those, or OneDrive? Classic share sound.
I just don't know why it's working.
Content from second camera. Hmm. I wish I could help you. I'm not very good with this part.
Oh, you know what? Okay, let's try it now. Okay.
No.
Nope.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
So I
I've
pressed.
got it up, Bob, if you want me to try and share it.
Okay, thank you. I'll be prepared next time. I got to work on get a tech person in here.
Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Am I roughly on the right page, I think?
Yep, you are.
Yes, you are. You are.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome. We're on 2-3, correct?
Yes.
I think, okay.
All right. Before we on that though, if we go back up to 2.2, continue to promote awareness of Northborough's history. I think this idea of Revolution 250 fits in very well with that. So that would
Yeah.
be that fits into those tasks. Okay. Under the next task, -2-3, promote the protection of historic properties, include buildings, archaeological archaeological sites, structures, documents, artifacts, landscapes, and agriculture lands. Use the information from the historic assets inventories taken in 2008 to 2009 as a guide to recommend historic buildings, objects, structures for nomination to the National Register of Historic Places and/or local historic districts. We have the Howard Street applied for the National Register.
Right.
Any discussion about property nominations or?
I mean, maybe we keep an eye on that 453 Main Street. And if it sells, we reach out to the owners and see if they have any
Yes.
interest in, putting it on the registry, if it's not already.
Okay, it's on Macris, but it would obviously require a lot of work to get on National Registry.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure of the procedures for that, but I think that would require hiring someone.
Yeah, maybe is Norm doing that for his house?
Yeah.
He did do that, yes, and he had to
Okay.
have a consultant work on
Okay.
that. Okay, any
His
other
house is
thoughts
the
on that one?
national I know it's part of the historic district. It's actually on the National Register.
He was applying. I don't know if he finally got it completed or not, but
It's in the historic district, but he's also applying to be put on National Register, I believe.
Okay, so it hasn't, it's not accepted yet, I don't think.
Yeah. The next bullet is 2015 Community Preservation Plan recommended that more CPA funds be used for this preservation and protection of historic documents. It recommends that keepers of historic documents such as Historic Society and early religious organizations be approached. There were several previous CPA funded projects to protect town historical records.
Hmm.
So that's probably something to discuss with the Historical Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to Ellen.
Okay, the next item, many of the open spaces and woodlands in Northborough were once colonial farmlands, woodlots or open meadows. This can be seen by many miles of stone walls running through the woodlands. Cooperation regarding the preservation of these lands with Open Space and Conservation Committee is warranted. Who do we know on the Open Space Committee? Is that
Me,
you're on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had a question. When you walk the Northborough trails or even some of the lands adjacent to Chauncey Lake, there are a lot of stone walls that are in disrepair. There are vines, there are fallen trees. Is there any way we could get permission to make these more legible by clearing the debris off them, maybe restacking the stones? I know they're on state land, they're on town land, they're on private land, but it's one of the early systems of demarcating private property, which is the hallmark of the colonial era. But this marking system is being obscured as they're abandoned.
Hmm.
don't know if anybody's ever seen Andy Goldworthy's environmental projects where he accents natural features by, say, adding coloration and wrapping it with sticks or other rocks. And I got to thinking about all the wonderful stone walls we have as part of our heritage, but we don't see them, we don't recognize them, we don't take care of them.
Yeah. The ones that I see normally are off of the Trails Committee, might be under the purview of the Trails Committee, and I'm wondering
Right.
that might be something to collaborate with them on.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to think about who, if any one particular type of organization or something is responsible for stone wall preservation or historic boundary marker preservation, anything like that.
Hmm.
Because they're, I think like Tom, I think there's historically significant features.
Yeah, especially in contrast to the Native Americans' conception of land use and ownership,
Right.
and compare that to what the colonial era produced. The comparison is pretty revealing.
Historic, yeah.
So I'll talk to the Trails Committee and see who has authority over wall maintenance.
And
Good
Tom, you mentioned this, is it Andy Goldworthy who does
Yeah.
environmental projects?
Yeah, he's a British sculptor photographer, but
Mhm.
look at some of his stuff. It's he's got several books, stone, wood.
I think
It's-
I've seen some of the stuff he does with wood. I'll have to look and see if it's the same guy. It's pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it's startling. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gone out, and one of the things I really liked was he took fallen leaves like red or yellow or green, and he'll dip them in water and wrapped a stone with these brightly colored leaves in the context of a stream or in the mountainside, and it just pops out
Yeah.
like as an accent, and it's quite startling.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look because there was one guy that I saw that I mean it was a lot of work to do some of the projects that he was doing, but it was visually stunning and
Yeah.
somewhat engineered, very, very complicated engineering. Interesting. I'm gonna see if that's the same guy.
The contact I had for Trails Committee was Bob Mihalik.
Mahalik, yeah.
Right.
Mahalik, yeah, or
Okay.
maybe Mahalik, yeah.
If you do contact Trails Committee about this, I also needed to talk to them. You might want to mention that Revolution 250 to see
Yeah.
if they would be interested in that in any way, and we can put them on the committee.
All right.
Okay. Well, I suggest we end here. It's 8:00. We can come back to this for the next meeting. You know, we could reread these tasks and
Yeah.
and maybe give an update on where we stand with them. I have some action items from last week that I need to do also. Okay. So, are there any other topics? The next meeting date would be scheduled for the third Wednesday by Zoom, if that's okay with everyone. And it would be, looks like November 15th.
On the calendar.
Okay.
Yep.
We can talk about maybe having a Christmas break if you want, but we'll talk about that next week. for a December meeting. So we'll have the next meeting on November 15th. Oh, and also at the Board of Select meeting, Owen gave a presentation. They're requesting funds which were approved for a what do you call it? A hybrid meeting room, actually in the Select Board and also in our conference room. I think it's conference room B, which would have allow us to do Zoom and in person at the same time.
We typically had met in the lunchroom. No. Conference
Right,
room
but
B.
the most recent time we met in conference room B.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're gonna do it in there. Okay.
Yeah, and that's where they're going to set something up there which would allow an in-person meeting where you could also call in on Zoom.
Nice.
And it sounds like a pretty interesting setup. I'd probably invite Owen to come in and talk to us about it when it gets close to being implemented.
Nice.
So Bob, November 15th at 7 PM is the second Fire Station Building Committee meeting in the library for community input.
Oh,
So I am on the Fire Station Building Committee, so I have a conflict.
okay. If we don't do that, then we'd have to have an in-person meeting, I think, because I don't know if we could get a Zoom set up. So anyone else have to be at that meeting?
Not I.
Tom, would you mind if we just went ahead with it on the 15th?
Be my guest.
Okay. I can make an inquiry and see if there's a chance we can move it, but for now, let's keep it where it is. If we are going to move it, I'll let everyone know and make sure everyone can attend.
Yeah, so this is the second community input meeting. The third one will be January 24th, if anybody is interested in attending.
What's that? It's about the old firehouse?
No, it's the new design of the new firehouse on West Main Street.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay. Brian Smith,
Aye.
Brian Swanson,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Millie,
I.
Amanda,
Aye.
Leslie.
I, and my cat says I as well.
Well, my cat's around here somewhere, and I say aye. Okay. Well, thanks, everyone.
Yep.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Bob.
Bob.
Nice
Thanks,
job.
Bob. You're
Thank you.
really doing a phenomenal job at this, by the way. I just want to say
Yeah,
you're really
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
killing it.
if I can get my Zoom to work.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
I'm gonna
seriously.
work on that. I don't understand it. New computer.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm out of work, so I lost my technology skills.
I never had
Okay.
them.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
See you later.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Yes.